I have plenty of scientific evidence to prove that Christianity is true.
You
In fact,
have
me and my
scientific
friend
evidence to
did
prove that the people involved in Christianity existed. That's it.
Yep.
Which, that makes sense because for something to be written, it needs to exist. But the
I mean,
events that happened, there's no scientific evidence that those ever happened.
answer, riddle me this, riddle me this. So they've found the skeletons of fish up high in the mountaintops, and like scientists have discovered
The
that.
entire world was an ice ball for years,
That and
covered in a
also,
That's what my
frozen
friend.
one of
ocean.
their main diets was salted fish.
Yeah,
Well, you could
which
say
they
that.
would
It
travel
doesn't.
miles to get.
Alrighty then. That's what you're saying. I'll just bring up the evidence then if you want me to explain to you. It's
Please
simple.
be my guest. I,
Of course we are. Not my problem. It's just that God also says to love one another and share the truth with your brother and his sisters. Oh no, I'm saying that out of love for you because I want you to truly enjoy the love of Jesus. It's so touching, man. Like you would not believe it until you try it. Oh no, I don't hate you for that. I love you. I love you like I would love anyone else. I love you like I love myself. And that's especially why I've reached out to tell you about the love of Jesus, because I want you to enjoy that too.
no, we have evidence that the man existed. We have evidence that the man existed. We don't have evidence of anything he fucking did after that, but we have evidence of that he did exist.
Yes, of course he exists. And what about all the testimonies of people who have encountered his love? How do you disprove that?
A lot of
Go, well, the love of Jesus is stronger than your witchcraft and worldly ways.
Oh wait,
So I
I
have
have a
no
good
fear.
question. I have a good question for the Christian dude.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so you using the Bible's words, can you explain why Jesus is actually Lucifer?
What was that? Sorry,
Because
I can't
Lucifer's
hear
name
this
is
background
Lucifer
noise.
Morningstar, and in the Bible itself, it says that God has presented his son, aka Jesus, his morning star to us.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole. Di like, it didn't describe in the Bible Satan's full name, unless you can find a
that
verse for
is
me.
word for word from the Bible. What he
Find
just
the
read. What
verse
he
for me.
just read.
Let me know the verse then.
Yeah, I'll go find it.
Right then. Of
Do you not read the Bible? Do you not read the book that you're supposed to be following?
course, I read it.
Oh yeah, that's unironic. You are supposed to read that religiously.
Look, I don't read it because of religion. I read it because I love Jesus and I want to know how I can be more like him and save others through
You
evangelism.
can't. In fact,
All right,
isn't it in the
so
Bible
the
that if you were
verse,
to hold on, if
the
isn't it in the
verse.
Bible that if you were to try and become as if you were to try and become one as of Jesus, or verbatim, whatever that says, right? That you are committing sins beyond your own mortal body should handle.
It's the seeking of
Because-
power and trying to overpower Jesus in a sense that's so dangerous. Like, you realize that when it says to
so
be like
you're saying
Jesus,
you
it
want
says to reflect his love and go and help people like he did. Pray over others. Be there for one another. That's what it means. There is no reason God would be angry at me for loving one another and wanting the best
no
for
one
others.
is angry at you. We just
Oh,
don't
no.
understand that.
No, you're saying that it's a
we don't
big
understand
sin
your
to try and be
preaching.
like Jesus.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
It is considered a sin.
I have the verses, right? So
Hold
the
up.
first instance of the morning star being quoted is Isaiah 1. Okay, yeah, Isaiah 14:12,
I'll look that up.
which is, "How have you fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of dawn? You have been
Isaiah
cast
12.
down to earth, from earth, you who once laid the low of nations."
Wait,
Then
what
the
was the
next
verse
one,
again?
Isaiah 14:12.
Isaiah 14:12.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's currently flipping through. All right, Isaiah 14:12. Ah, there it is.
King of Babylon. Babylon. Do you know what Babylon's associated with in the Bible? Like, I want you to tell me that. I'm not skipping the question. I'm actually giving it more context.
I mean,
It
there's
says
still
King
two
of
more
Babylon.
verses.
Yeah, King of Babylon. Babylon was around an era when they even tried to build a tower to try and get up to the heavens. And through this caused much division in that and just trying to reach God's power. And so the reason we have all these languages today is because God split the Tower of Babylon, sending all people into their own nations. Yeah, read it in the Bible. Read it in the Bible.
I mean,
Then,
I've
before
heard
you're
the
going to use the
Bible,
Bible for your claims, read it.
Isaiah 1, right? That's just the
Bro.
first mention of morning star. The next one is Luke 10:18, which is referring to Satan's fall from heaven, right? And then the next one after that is Revelation 22:16, where Jesus is unmistakably identifies himself as the morning star.
Let's see. Jesus. So in verse 18 of Luke 10, it says, Jesus answered him, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Listen, I have given you authority so that you can walk on snakes, scorpions, and overcome all power of the enemy, and nothing will hurt you. So, Satanic Wolf Keeper, this is the reason I don't fear your satanic works also. Because of this. He has given me authority over all evil. So, yeah, sure. All right, then. Yeah. Okay, then. But then tell me, why should I fear you if I have faith and I have a Father of greater power above all evil and sin? Why should I fear you? Yeah, sure. Sure, he totally doesn't have a gender then. And where's your Bible verse to prove that?
If you read every fucking word in the entirety of the Bible, under no circumstance and at no point in time does it ever refer to God as a specific gender.
If that's what you want to believe,
The
then go
only
ahead, but it can be proved.
religious item it refers to as a specific gender would be Jesus himself, which they refer to as he.
Yeah. I'm looking that up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just God. You don't call him by anything else.
Yeah, well, we call him Father, do we not? Do we call him Holy Father? Yes. Because he is part of
Okay.
the Holy
What's
Trinity.
crazy though is the term father being used as being used to represent God, the term father, right? Didn't originally be used until almost the 1800s. So all of that time, though almost 90% of time that Christianity existed, the term father was never used to compare to God,
Well, let me
except
tell you
for
this.
by Jesus.
Yeah, well, let me tell you this. A being so powerful, so above humanity, why would God need to be put into a category? The
Okay,
reason he
good
sent
question.
Jesus is
Good
because he
question.
sent Jesus in his human form. That was God in human form. If you know about the Trinity, that is
Uh,
God in his
He
human
sent
form.
his son because he's scared of the other gods.
What other gods? Where do we see other gods mentioned in the Bible?
Okay. All right.
Oh,
So this is
you mean the first
okay.
commandment? He shall not uh
Create gods
prophesize
for
any
himself.
other gods before me.
Yeah,
Which then
because
means
in a
that
sense,
God himself proves that
Even
there is
God
other
himself
gods.
knows that there's other gods.
that's not proving there's other gods. That's wait. So tell me this: if you're told like not to idolize something in the Bible, that's for a reason. Because when you idolize something, you make it your god. You place it above God, like God being the number one important thing in your life. That's why it's bad to idolize things. That's
I
why
got
God
another.
says you shall not
Okay,
have any
hold
other
on.
gods for yourself.
Hold on. I got one more question for the Christian dude, for Wolf. All right. I got one more question for you. Okay.
Go ahead.
This is gonna be my last question before I get so fed up with you.
I
Ready?
know.
Ready? 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 This is a good
Yeah.
one. Can you explain to me how the Bible has any sense of semblance or truth when, if you actually go back, there is writings on over 50% of the prophets who wrote the Bible, the people who said God was talking to them as they were writing it for him. 50% of them admitting to being either drunk or high while doing so.
Well, where's your evidence? Of course, I need to see
There
your
is
evidence.
literally evidence. You can go to the museum. You can go to the Museum of Britain. You can go to Rome. You can go to fucking Italy. There's multiple museums in Italy that have them. You can go to France. There's so many in France that have it.
So wait, basically you're telling me that they have a
All of these museums have
cryo-freeze
actual paper
version of like a
evidence
drunk
from back
prophet.
then.
Right, then if that's what you're
Sorry.
saying,
I'm
then
sorry.
you can believe that if you want. But like honestly, the Bible's the truth, man. The Bible's the truth. It's been proven so many times.
Yeah, it works both ways. If you're telling me to prove something, you should be able to prove that it isn't there either.
Yeah, I can prove the
Then
Bible is real. I can prove the Bible's real right now. There's like numerous scientific claims that people made.
can you show us any of these scientific claims?
I can give you the verse. So in like before 1500 AD, scientists thought oceans can't mix. But this was proved way before that in Job 26 verse 10, Proverbs chapter 8
What?
verse 29,
What?
Jeremiah
What are
chapter
you
5 verse
saying?
22. I'm giving you evidence of
That
scientific
oceans.
claims.
Have you
Okay,
seen the
this
intersection where two seas meet? There's like maybe a foot of mixture. They don't really mix.
They
they
do.
don't
And it's been
really
proven by
mix.
scientists.
You
They
can
discovered
no,
that.
you can tell. You can. There is a very clear, defined line where they do not mix, and that's solely because of the composition of salt in the water.
Oh, if that's what you're saying, well then go find me proof.
Uh,
If the
you
I
can
scientists
literally
can.
discovered
Here,
Google
this
it.
for themselves.
give me a minute. I'll
You can
fucking
quite
find your
literally just
proof. Watch
Google
this shit.
image two seas meet. Boom, there's a distinct line.
Yeah, you could literally just fucking do that. Fucking put a photo.
Okay.
Two. Yeah,
The two waters that can mix is salt
this
water and
is
fresh water, and that forms
this
brackish
is
water.
this is the greatest image so far. Ready? This is the Atlantic Ocean meeting the fucking Pacific Ocean, and you could see that the salt composition of the fucking Atlantic Ocean is so high that the Pacific Ocean physically can't mix with it.
You realize salt levels can vary, like they can mix. You realize that,
Yes,
right?
they can, but
Yeah.
they can't mix when the fucking line is so defined because one is fucking black. The Pacific Ocean looks black compared to the Atlantic Ocean where they meet.
Okay.
It is a straight fucking line.
How about I have a look into this?
Even when a boat crosses over that line and forces them to mix, they separate back to their own places.
Okay. Give me a minute to
And
have a
that's
look
just
at
due
this.
to density. This is all science.
Right then.
Hmm.
But how about this? Space being infinite. People didn't believe that, but the Bible had already proved that in Jeremiah chapter 33, verse 22. How about when people thought the Earth doesn't float in free space? Like back when the Egyptians were around, they thought it was like potentially some kind of flat object or something held up by pillars. That was
The
already proved in the
Egyptian,
Bible before that.
there is physical evidence. You can go to Egypt and see it written on the fucking walls. There is physical evidence that they knew the Earth was round. Don't start with that shit.
Really? If
They
that's
knew
what you-
everything
that's
was
what you want to
round.
believe. No.
I don't want to believe it. I've been there. I've seen it myself.
Why are you getting so mad now, bro? Why are you getting mad?
Oh,
All this because I
You
tried
haven't
to tell
proved
one
anything
person
to
that
me so
Jesus
far.
loves him,
you haven't proved jack shit.
and you have. Like, if you experience, well, how about you read all the testimonies of people who have had encounters with Jesus if you don't believe him? Because you don't want to believe the truth. You don't want to accept the
I
truth.
mean,
It's not a
it's
matter
not
of
really
believing. It's not a
true.
matter of
It's
The
not wanting
worst
to
place
believe
you
more.
can
the
be
truth.
as a human on this earth is believing that you know it all, believing that you know the truth. Rather than,
I
oh,
mean, you can't. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You can't prove that I am human or not, other than biological composition. You can't prove anything.
well, if science were to dig you up, like, let's say thousands of years later and identify what you are, what they identify you as. So if you're not a human, then what are you?
I could be. I could
So-
be
I
could
whatever
be
you
a
want
fucking
me to
squid.
be, baby.
So you're a
I
squid
don't
now.
fucking know.
So you're a squid trapped in a human's body, are you saying? You're so
I mean, you're
deluded.
the
okay,
ones that
here's a
came up
question.
with the
need
Here's a
names
God.
for
question.
everything.
I got another one. I got another one for you. Ready? Who is more righteous, God or Satan?
God.
Who's
God, of
more
course.
righteous? God, of course. All right, let's go off of sins committed based off of God's rules. Satan has a total of 8.
Well,
8 total
let's go
sins.
down into the story of Satan and how he became
No.
Satan. for a
I want
start.
you to hear me.
Yes,
I want you to
no,
listen to me.
no,
Don't
you
cut
need
me off.
context.
No,
You
don't
need
cut me off.
context. I'm sorry,
there's
but
no
that's what
fucking
you've been doing
context. I
to me.
want you to actually listen to me real quick. I want you to actually
Huh?
fucking listen, okay? If you actually count it up and actually take a look, Satan has only committed 8 total sins, okay? Albeit they are the worst sins you could think of, but they are 8 total. Whereas God has a ongoing
Must I remind
count
you, all
of
sins
a
are
million plus
equal.
by far.
All sins are
Okay.
equal, bro. All sins are equal.
Nope, that's not
Yes,
true.
they
Even
are.
God
It says that in the
even in the
Bible. Sin
Bible, it
is
states
sin.
that no such thing.
Sin is
All
sin.
sins are not equal. All sins are not equal. Because then if all sins were equal, the fucking 7 deadly sins, all those fucking evil ones wouldn't exist. Because
7 deadly
if all
sins. Okay. But they're called deadly.
shouldn't exist for
They're
certain
called
sins,
deadly,
but not
but they all
others.
stem off into smaller things. Like lust, that stems off into adultery and things like that. You know that.
Yes, correct. I
Yeah.
100% agree with you on that. But
So
I want
the seven- so the 7 deadly
we'll
sins
go
could be
past the sins
subcategories.
since you want to be anal about it. We'll go past the sins. All right. How many people has Satan killed? Do you know
How many people
how many
have sinned?
people? No. How many
Everyone.
people has he himself killed?
Who?
Satan.
Satan. He's killed.
Yes.
Like, Satan doesn't go around physically killing people because he was an angel.
Yet God does.
No, God doesn't. God can
God
open up.
does.
God can remove his protection upon people, but that doesn't mean he's killing them.
He literally smited
That's
two
what,
people
see,
in the
that's what's
Bible.
funny. That's what's funny. It is literally stated. It is literally stated that when God removes his protection, right, he offers that person for Satan to come collect. Okay?
No,
allows,
Satan,
in the Bible,
Satan
he
tries his
full-on
best to
smited two
save that
people
person
of the same
so
blood
they don't end
doesn't
up like
shut-
him.
Let's understand first, why does God allow Satan to have his way in people's lives when they don't choose the right decision? Because he wants to tempt that person going back into repenting to Jesus and choosing the right way. He wants to show them that their way isn't the right way and that it only leads to harm. Why do you think he always
listening
remains
to
there
you,
and you can
listening to
repent
you
to
is
him?
like listening to you is like listening to a flat earther trying to prove anything is true, and they can't manage to do it. They're just gonna keep saying shit until they listen.
Well, I mean, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing to prove to anyone. I mean, I can
I
believe in
mean,
my God.
hang on. I have a good question for him. You said that he didn't kill anyone, but literally in the Bible, it is said that he smited two people of the same bloodline, a father and
Yeah.
a son.
Yeah.
So how could he smite two people and kill
Yet
them
not killing
without
them.
killing them?
About killing them. What do you mean by that? Hold on.
Okay. It states in the
it
Bible.
states that he smited them. Done so. But you're
Gone.
saying that he's never killed anyone. How does that work?
Well, hold up. I'm just having a look at this. Give me a sec.
Yes. This is great.
Wait, so you're gonna report me for sharing about
No,
Jesus
we're not
and
reporting
evangelizing?
anything. No, we're not
Okay.
reporting anything. We're just recording because we want. I want you to know that we have put in multiple forms of evidence, yet
Look,
your
this is
ass
clearly
hasn't
going to a
managed to
dead
prove
end.
anything.
It's like God's always there for you if you want.
You go
If you
based
want,
off
if
of
you want to
words.
pursue God, you
Words don't
can.
mean anything unless
God
there's
is there
factual
if you
evidence
want
Anyway,
to be
behind
God
it.
smited.
bless you guys. I haven't got more to say here. God bless you guys.
Listen, I also want to mention that for the longest time, it was Christians. It was Christians who believed. Oh
I
my
don't know
God.
what's funnier, the fact that at any point I brought up, he'd have to go look at it while I'm just sitting here drifting the Lincoln Continental. I just know these things.
I'm just sitting here, and I love the fact that I was gonna flame him one more time. I said, listen, it's funny that we're supposed to trust your word and the word of God. For the longest time, it was your word and the word of God that believed that the Earth was the center of the solar system. Can you really believe that?
See, I was baptized whenever I was a kid, so I mean, I just know things.
Yeah, I just want someone to prove to me that Christianity exists. Oh, you committed a sin. You've committed a sin. We are in hell. Even if you go through the Bible, it states that we're in hell right now.
I think he was getting the maddest at me because I used the Bible against the Bible. And that's my favorite thing to do. You gotta have that knowledge on lockdown, like you just gotta. And I happen to have that knowledge on lockdown.
What in the hell? You know, I don't ever want to see that sentence again. I'm good on that one. Listen, you can get any amount of money from Dad when Dad has no moral limits. Excuse you?